In a quiet restaurant, a drunk man thought he could get away with grabbing a woman by the waist. What he didn't know was that she wasn't just another helpless victim. She was trained, calm, and stronger than anyone in the room imagined. Moments later, he went crashing through tables, and the entire crowd froze in disbelief. Where are you watching from today? Let me know in the comments below. And if this story connected with you, be sure to subscribe for more content about amazing people. The restaurant was alive that night. A low hum of laughter, clinking glasses, and soft music weaving through the air. It was one of those evenings where people came to forget their troubles, drown them in food, drink, and companionship. At a corner table near the dim golden lights sat a woman, quiet, steady, and calm, as though she carried her own gravity with her. Her name was Clara, though no one in the room knew who she truly was. To most, she was just another guest, a woman in her late 20s dressed in a simple dark jacket, her hair tied back neatly. But beneath the quiet exterior, she carried scars, both seen and unseen, that spoke of battles no one in the room could imagine. Across the room, a man staggered. His laughter was loud, his movements sloppy. He was drunk, not the cheerful, harmless kind of drunk, but the dangerous kind. The kind whose eyes roamed, whose words slurred into insults, and whose body leaned too close to strangers. His friends laughed at his antics, egging him on, pretending not to notice the unease he spread like smoke through the air. Clara noticed. She always noticed. Her training wouldn't allow her to ignore. The man stumbled again, his gaze locking on Clara. He saw her calmness as something else, an opportunity, a target. A woman alone. He made his way across the floor, his footsteps heavy, dragging. Clara kept her eyes lowered, her hands wrapped loosely around the warm tea mug in front of her. She didn't want a scene. She had promised herself she would live quietly now, away from the chaos of her past. But life had a way of testing her vows at the worst times. Hey, pretty girl, the drunk man slurred as he reached her table. His words were coated with arrogance, his breath thick with alcohol. Why you sitting here all alone? You need some company, huh? Clara didn't answer. She lifted her eyes just enough to meet his, a look calm, unshaken, but firm enough to warn him. For a moment he faltered, but then his pride swelled. He leaned closer, his hand slamming against her table. I'm talking to you. Conversations around them dipped into uncomfortable silence. People noticed, but no one moved. That was the problem in places like this. Everyone saw, but no one stepped forward. Clara spoke at last, her voice steady, almost gentle. Please. Go back to your table, the man sneered. Oh, you think you're too good for me? You sitting here like a queen or something? And then he did it. His hand shot out and grabbed her by the waist, yanking her halfway out of her seat. Gasps broke out across the room. A few people muttered protests, but none strong enough to stop him. His friends laughed nervously, sensing trouble but unwilling to intervene. Clara's eyes darkened, not with fear, but with the kind of stillness that comes before a storm. It happened in seconds. Her hand shot up, clamping around his wrist with precision. With a single pivot of her hips and a twist of her arm, she redirected his weight. The man's drunken body lost balance instantly. Before he realized what happened, Clara had shifted her stance, using his momentum against him. The next sound was a crash so loud it silenced the entire restaurant. The man's body flew across the air and slammed through 2 tables, splintering wood and shattering glasses. Plates scattered, food and drink flying everywhere. The laughter of his friends died in their throats. Clara hadn't moved an inch from where she stood. She straightened her jacket calmly, her breathing steady. The drunk man groaned from the floor, clutching his side, humiliated. His arrogance shattered along with the tables. Silence. And then, a ripple of whispers. Did you see that? She barely touched him. He flew. Who is she? Clara didn't stay for their questions. She left money on the table, picked up her bag, and walked toward the door. Her eyes didn't look back, not at the broken man, not at the stunned faces. But just before she stepped into the cool night air, she glanced at the young waitress frozen nearby. Fear still painted across her face. Clara's voice softened as she spoke to her. You don't have to let men like that touch you. Ever. And then she was gone, disappearing into the night as if she had never been there. The drunk man's friends scrambled to pick him up, their laughter long forgotten. The restaurant would talk about this night for weeks. They would remember the quiet woman who moved like water, who struck like lightning, who vanished like a ghost. But for Clara, it was just another night of breaking her vow, another night where she had promised herself she'd stay hidden. But the world refused to let her, because sometimes silence isn't strength. Sometimes strength is standing up, even when no one else will. Thanks for being here till the end. If this story moved you, give it a like, subscribe for more real moments, and share your thoughts. I read every comment.